Preparing tactical marines for deployment.
Hey, you gits, how you all doing? This is Alwayz coming to you with some Dawn of War 3 action. Today's a 1v1 on Mork's Mire. Starting off over here, now currently blue, soon to be red for most of this game, it's going to be the Space Marine forces of Spectre. He's already starting off building himself a little bit of an arsenal to upgrade his troops. He's got some attacks coming on out, as well as another squad of attacks going into this whole drop pod situation. What's he got for elites, though? Well, he's got Kill Team Ironmaw. He also has himself Chaplain Diomedes. Excuse me. And also has an Imperial Knight Solaria. So that'd be kind of fun if he can get to that 10 elite points. In terms of doctrines, he's bringing on in a Blade of Armor for Predators. He's bringing in Tireless for increased attack marine speed, and Emperor's Influence to reduce the ability of the cooldown for that standard of his. Now, his opponent is spawning over here on this right-hand side with some rather spiffy-looking wall towers. It's going to be Alwayz Lame, and he has got himself the Commando Knob. He's also got himself a Mega Knob, and he's got Storm Boys. He's not really going for anybody really named, per se. In terms of doctrines, what has he got? And we're going to see already some action going between attack marines and boys like crazy. Let's just focus on this for a second, I think. And the attack marines are not going to do particularly well, as this boys just kind of chase them for days. So what do we have? We have ourselves Come On, which gives Knobs a nice shield, and if that shield breaks, after assuming they taunt, of course, it slows in a circle. We're also going to be seeing Grotts keep trucking, so people that get ejected from trucks get temporary shield and taunt, as well as the whole heal and scrap thing, which allows non-elite units to actually heal up. Pretty darn good. Already, though, with the arsenal deployed, we are going to see a flamer coming on out, which means that these boys are going to have a difficult time if that nice little gout of flame gets utilized. We are seeing right now that one squad of attacks is already getting pounded, and I imagine we're going to see ourselves... Do we see a dead Space Marine? No, not quite yet. Tone back this sound a tiny bit here. There we go. Having a teensy bit of an issue these days with my sound. I don't know why that is, but it sounds very, very loud to me. Alright, might be a little bit better. If this is too low for you guys, please let me know in the comments below. Boys, though, are going to get pushed back now, as they're now completely outnumbered. They're going to shout their way almost unto death, it looks like. Yeah, time for you to back away, my friends. So that Watt Tower apparently was not even built whatsoever. What the heck was I looking at? I thought it was a Watt Tower. Alright, guess not. Alright, there I see a boys' hut, which is pretty darn good as well. A couple of Gretchen just kind of marauding around. And a nice squad of Ard boys now are ready to start beating on these Space Marines, and I think this guy's going to go down pretty quickly. Only about 200 hit points left. And that's going to go down super soon, isn't it? No, it is not. Okay, so wow. Wow, able to go and keep his attacks alive. Looks like Alwayz Lame is going to get pressured quite significantly. Another Wad Tower getting disbanded, dismantled, I'm not sure exactly what you want to call it, cancelled if nothing else. As all these attack marines threaten to capture and they kind of wander away. I'm not entirely sure why they're doing that. A listening post up to the north, though, is going to get pressured pretty darn quickly. And I'm trying to see who's got some elite points right now. Well, neither player's gone for the generator in the middle. But we are going to see some good positions being held up here to the north by Alwayz Lame for the time being. Nope, never mind. This poor guy's going to get taken on out super, super soon. I don't think... No, but no. He did manage to go and force the target onto that attack marine squad. No, that guy's falling back, isn't he? Can't say for sure. We'll find out pretty darn soon, guys. Listening post does go down, but we have shooter boys now putting some firepower into all those attacks. Not going particularly well, though, either. But here comes some Storm Boys. Yes, we go. Here's some Storm Boys, but here's the Kill Team Ironmaw jumping on in after those Death Watch Space Marines, and it's not going to go particularly well for them. They're pretty bad in terms of hand-to-hand combat. You can see right now, Suicide Bomber going on out, doing great damage to this Flamer unit. And kind of seesawing back and forth just a tiny, tiny bit, but the Storm Boys are not being utilized maybe to their fullest potential. Getting shot to pieces now as the Kill Team Ironmaw falls back on attacks, and the attacks just start to pelt everything with bolter fire. And there we go, using his jump to get himself away. More shooter boys are coming on out, but we still haven't really seen any watchtowers able to hold on to the map. There we go, finally seeing the first one. And the shooter boys are getting upgraded. A little bit of nice damage opportunity there. Unfortunately, this particular listening post, is going to go down super quickly. And indeed, here comes another generator bash. We're seeing down here. Okay, so these boys just kind of chilling. These aggressive boys aren't going to do particularly well. They're just going to get kited for days. And another drop pod coming on in, so it's going to be kind of beefy and kind of a lot of damage. No, excuse me, just the standard coming in. Forgive me. Boys are going to go down any second. There we go. And that shield is really, really strong right now. There's not enough shooter boys to overcome the shield and still provide enough DPS to take out flame-armed troops. But meanwhile, we are going to see some Space Marines coming up to the north after this shield generator, and while these Storm Boys are very much going to be outnumbered, they could be able to get a good suicide bomb up. Yep, there they go. Some great damage there, but just not having the opportunity to follow it up. If they're able to get the shooters... Okay, there we go. So might be able to see this. A couple of these squads going to be taken on out. One squad here. Done and dusted. Another squad, not quite. Though we are going to see the shooters coming up in an attempt to stave off these other attacks from really roasting these Storm Boys as they fall away. I think the Storm Boys could rush into that area here and get themselves some protection, but it doesn't look like they're really too interested in doing that. In the meantime, a raid is starting to happen back in the Orc camp. A Wah is starting to come out in 13 seconds, giving just enough time for the shooters to get themselves nice and resupplied, let's call it. But the Space Marines themselves also get enough time to kind of fall back here. I'm wondering if you're going to see yourselves a take on the center part of this field. Mork's Mire does give itself a rather easy attack range. There's not a whole lot to really kind of be flirting about. I'm also wondering why we're not seeing a little more action being done here by these attacks. These boys are going to get taken out pretty darn quickly. But the shooters are going to go and aggress onto the servitors, and there they go. So their attacks coming back in, pouring bolter fire like nuts into those boys as they fall back. But Storm Boys are here, so expect to see another suicide bomb up pretty darn quickly. 3, 2, 1, bomber away. Nope, not going to. I would have thought we would have seen a suicide bomber immediately into a jump, but this is not going to happen. Attacks spreading themselves out so as to not getting picked off too easily. And shouting it on up to make sure they get themselves some good damage. Suicide bomber gets used, completely misses. In the meantime, Kill Team Iron Maw, as well as more attacks, are charging up to the north. Are we seeing any sort of tech up just yet? So we already have the tech 2 coming on through. Just turrets, though, still. Not a whole lot of extra stuff going on down. Health 1 has already come through, as has Damage 1. No real power sword, which is kind of obvious since we haven't seen any type of Assault Marines. Now, from the boys' side of things, are we getting themselves any kind of tech up, any kind of pile of guns? No, I don't see it. Doesn't mean it doesn't exist per se. But not that much really happening at the moment. Shooter Boy should be turning around so he can just pelt these guys like crazy. Not sure why they didn't do that when they were close. And a really, really good suicide bomber, well placed, allows both those squads of Space Marines to get completely and totally stunned on up. Also not sure why these boys decided to turn away from Kill Team Iron Maw. It would have been much better to be up close and personal to this fight. Well, at the same token, we are seeing attacks up here pretty much in the Orc camp. I'm kind of curious why we're not seeing any kind of troops back here to defend anything. So a very Mad Cat game, 9 minutes in. I cannot even give you 100% really who's in the lead here. A couple of squads being dropped by both sides, and some decent economic damage is being done, but this tower is just out of range, so there we go. Servitor going down for the Space Marines. So sad times there. Truck coming in. And I get the feeling that these Grotts are going to die pretty darn soon. If not, after this generator does. So there we go. Generator goes down. Grotts are going to soon be following, I'm sure. But I don't think these tacks are going to make it out alive either. The DACA that exists here, some good grenades coming out from Alwayz Lame. Storm Boys as well, coming in after there's tacks. Could see a nice... Okay, it doesn't even require a suicide bomber. Tax moving up to the north, having that tireless ability just does really great opportunities for him. The Commando is now in. Just a quick reminder, what's the Commando have? Well, he's got himself sneaky, so he throws a stun bomb down, and he causes stealth. And he also has got stun trap, so you can just go and throw that down and stuns in a circle, so kind of a nice little okey doke to allow your troops to either redeploy or concentrate their firepower on somebody. Kill Team Iron Maw in the meantime has himself a rocket launcher.
Just being sneaky is all.
And standard coming down again. Not entirely sure why the standard was so quickly utilized here, but it was. Missiles going down, though, taking out that listening post pretty quickly, disabling stealth, so watch him get wrecked if he's not careful. Truck comes in, but does the truck have anybody? Oh. Okay, well, he's pretty much dead, so that was kind of a waste of time. The Commando Knob is able to get away. As all these shooters coming on in instead... Oh, whoa! Look at all the boys. Those miniature orbital strikes doing some good damage, though. Suicide Bomber completely misses. But the shooters are here, should be able to do some good damage, and that special shooter coming on out... Excuse me, they call it boomstick, but for me it's always a special shooter. I think back to things like Dawn of War 2. The Elite mod, if nothing else. I'm seeing a running gunfight as this squad attack Marines is definitely going to get taken on out. Poor bastards. Kill Team Iron Maw might follow them into death. Then again, that teleport homer might get them out alive too. So those orcs are going to probably get their prey, but they're going to go down for it. Yep, there they go. And the Commando falls back. Rooting around in the wreckage, though, we are going to see another squad of shooter boys get upgraded. So well done there. And my question is, are we seeing any other tech structures coming out? Well, we see DACA Hut. So of course we had that because of the truck. But only 2 Watt Towers. Which is kind of weird because he can either be investing a lot more into material here, or he should be investing into Watt Towers to really kind of get himself teched up. I don't know. We'll see what's happening in just a second. Checking over at Spectre for a moment, though. He's got a much better resource utilization. Of course, part of that is he's being forced to resupply a lot of his units. Just one servitor by himself, who is going to make some generators up here to the kind of north center part of this map. Other than that, though, just TAC Marines. Kind of strange. Storm Boys down to the south, going to put some pressure onto this position here, just taking out generators, nice little gen bash. Going to cut into the Space Marine economy. And there are people who are complaining about how powerful the Space Marines are in the late game. That's definitely true if you allow them. If you just sit back and allow them to tech up into Predators and the like. Kind of waiting not to do that is just don't allow it to happen. But Chaplain Diomedes now is on the map, as are all these Tech Marines, so 4 squad them supporting this fight, as the Chaplain himself is really in the area. Now, is this Wall in the range? Yes, it is. So these guys are all going to get some nice little bonuses here. The Storm Boys were able just to go and get a nice little bit of damage done on... What? Storm Boys just sat back and just... apparently just took out that generator in the south. How insane is that? Very bizarre, if you ask me. Alright, though, so boys coming on in, going to stun up Kill Team Iron Maw, but I don't think it's going to be enough to save this truck. It's not going to be easy anyway. Of course, I've been wrong before, so here we go. Actually, one more. Okay, one more goes out, does take out that truck. But the kill team is just barely going to stay alive because of Chaplain Diomedes' special sauce there. Now the question is, will we see this punk over here do some good damage or enough damage? No, we're not going to. And indeed, all we're going to see is the Commando Knob slowly push these dudes back. It takes out the kill team Iron Maw. Question is, can he take out the Chaplain Diomedes as well? Doesn't look like he's going to be too focused on that. Instead, he's going to put some good damage down onto these Tech Marines. TAC Marines. Takes out one squad. And just continues to run them back with his boomstick. Alrighty. And with that, okay, so the Orcs, I would say, have a very good lead here now, taking out the one shield generator already, and I'm not seeing any sort of later game structures going down. Machine Cult, I mean, nice and all, means, of course, we are at Phase 3 for the Space Marines. But, wait a second. He's attacking up right now? I think he might be attacking up right now. No, he's not. We'll figure it out in just a second there, folks. So right now we're waiting on something here. Not sure why he's building is tech marine. Excuse me, tactical marines. I keep calling them tech marines. Is not what I mean at all, I promise.
Lay down the law and we'll enforce it.
But I would say the orcs have themselves a pretty hefty advantage here. 3 wad towers, they still have a ton of resources. In terms of raw army size, they are up a good 20 army supply. But you always have to watch out for utilization of things such as that chapter standard. Another raid going on off. We're also going to see Nas with the ability to go and do... Whoa, he's in a suicide bomb position? That's why. He's inside the truck, isn't he? So he can taunt up, which would be pretty darn good. And some tank busters coming on in as well. So it seems that Alwayz Lame might be preparing himself for sort of tank spam coming on out from the Space Marines. If he does, it might be a better idea for him just to continue ramping on up with those rocket launches. Because the last thing you really want to do is just get pwned by dozens and dozens of tanks. Listening Post is going to do some good damage here, but Chaplain Diomedes in the meantime is going to go and get stunned on up. And this whole miniature orbital strike is going to do some good damage if I'm not careful. Chaplain Diomedes charging in after his tank busters go down super fast, which I think was a giant mistake there. And the commando is not quite able to deal with all of that nonsense. Interestingly, we are going to see ourselves an orbital bombardment coming on down from the Space Marines. Might be able to do enough damage here. Yep, there goes the truck. That's going down. There go the shooter boys. And these orcs down here are just completely and totally outmatched. The boys getting driven away. Thank God for a stun up right there. That's insane. Alright, pile of guns. There we go. Finally coming on through. So seeing some more vehicle damage maybe coming on out. Some vehicle health. No real buffs into infantry just yet. I would like to see that this wall gets actually used. I mean, he's got more than enough power to do it. That'd be even better, actually, too. It's called a wall for boys. But in the meantime, we'll just see another bash coming on through, I think, from Chaplain Diomedes and his TAC Marine squads. Now, I don't think I really like Alwayz Lame so much in terms of his wad timings. There are other orc players that are very, very intentional about this, allowing them to kind of go beefing that up just for a second or two. And having their towers close enough to the front lines, they can quickly get right back into the fray. Suicide Bomber going on out, stunning up 2-3 squads of TAC Marines, and Kill Team Iron Maul does get pushed away, but not after soaking up enough of the enemy attention. Just completely and totally wail onto those Storm Boys. Chaplain Diomedes, in the meantime, is duking out with the final orc boys in the area. But I think he might be hanging out a little bit too long. And here comes a Predator. Alright, so here comes the first of these tanks. So now, the orcs are on themselves, have a little bit of a timetable here they have to worry about. As soon as those first tanks coming on in, it ain't gonna be pretty. You certainly can't use your truck, because your truck's gonna get roasted in half a second. And with these plasma guns, yeah, it's not gonna be good. Not gonna be good at all. Wad tower going down. And attacks and tank just kind of hanging on out. But tank busters being called in, that's the best call that the orcs can make under the circumstances. I'm waiting to see these Meganauts coming on in as well. Storm Boys jumping in, might be able to back away Space Marines, maybe not. I'd like to see maybe a Storm Boy Suicide Bomber. Heck, Suicide Bomber to take out the last member of the Kill Team Iron Maw. Because right now these guys are not going too well. They're remarkably fragile. And jeez Louise. Shot comes in a little bit too late. Those guys are taking too much damage in the meantime. I think that's going to be probably a dead generator. Pretty darn soon. There's that recharging shield, by the way. That's the doctrine decision there. Truck coming in does do a good amount of damage, but Death Storm, excuse me, drop pod is also going to be quite a beast. Now, with the Death Storm pod coming in, that was a little bit of way to delay the Orc advance, but the Orc advance seems to be completely and totally unstoppable. This Predator is not going to get it out. Between tank buster shots as well as all these knobs wailing on it, the Space Marine force has just been completely and totally destroyed. And 20 minutes in, we are seeing ourselves pretty much at an impasse for the moment. Space Marines need to fall back and get themselves a lot more in the way of resources. They are slowly building back up of their tanks. But first of all, it's a long way until they can get back up to something like this 10 points needed for Imperial Knights Solaria. And what's more, I don't think they really have... They're not going to have a lot of opportunity to do that. The Orcs really should be shoving right now to take out this shield generator. But here we go. Mega Knobs are on the field, which means, guys, we're going to see Electric Wall, which is pretty beastly. And enable combi rockets. So that's going to be awesome. Super awesome. A lot of fun. Meantime, the listening post is going to go down. Thank you so much. Tank Busters, Storm Boys, excuse me, actually Knobs and Storm Boys. Commando, in the meantime, has dropped himself, he's dropping down a stun trap, and then taking some damage out from this Destructor. He decides to back away. Probably a good decision there. Sometimes wonder why there isn't more decapping that happens upon these points. There we go, finally seeing the Storm Boys hanging around from Alwayz Lame. Right now they should back away, though, I will admit. So, leaping away, probably leaving one of their number lifeless? No, all 5 of them still alive. Which is quite a shock. Now, these Mega Knobs, I think, we're trying to get inside this area here. No, I think it'd be kind of fun for them to put themselves into this heavy cover. Because those guys are not to be trifled with. Look at the DPS that they have. Now, melee is insane. But range is still pretty decent as well. Now, down to the south, we are going to see knobs being thrown out onto all of these tacks. The tacks are going to go and start hitting them. But melee tacks against melee knobs, you know, not going to be pretty. You see right there, 123 normal DPS. What do those tacks do? 12. A mere 12. So one of these squads is going to go down for sure. Well done there to the knobs. This combo between knobs and truck really is a potent combination. To the north, though, Wall Tower as well as listening post might go down pretty quickly. A little bit iffy. Also going to see some killer cans coming on out, as well as a big track of super cannons. Good decision there, I would say. The best way to kind of to really keep those tanks at bay. Commando coming on in, trying to be able to throw down a stun trap, but no. Instead, we're going to see ourselves more tanks coming for the Space Marines as well. Oh, no. Point captured instead, so well done there. Alright, interesting. Chaplain Diomedes comes on in, but Electric Wall coming on out to go and absorb all of those shots and to just really block all the enemy movement there. So great opportunity being used and then lost as the Orcs are not able to quite capitalize on it. 2 Wall Towers probably going to go down because of this, though. It's the Plasma, as well as Chaplain Diomedes, as well as those tanks. It ain't going to be pretty. Missile Launcher, oh my gosh, we have Kill Team Armor back on? No, we don't. Okay, that was from the Destructor cannon. But Kill Team Armor is back. What do they have? They have a Missile Launcher. Alright, so yep, Watt Tower is going on down. I would like to see... Okay, so they're currently off. I would like to see the combi rockets being turned on, because that would just completely and totally destroy this material right there. But we have a fairly aggressive force, let's call it, coming forward between boys and shootas and suicide bombers and all that kind of stuff. So one squad attack marines just gets completely evaporated. Knobs coming on in, they're going to taunt up like crazy. There comes an orbital bombardment, though, which means that all of these orcs are going to get walloped. Unfortunately, for the Space Marines, there are also some rockets coming on in, and I don't think that the Space Marines can hang on, and indeed they can't. Chaplain Diomedes is probably going to go down pretty quickly, though he's doing a lot of work against these Storm Boys. Finally taking him out, so well done there. Commando not taking some damage, and this very, very lonely tractor beam is not tractor. Yes, oh no, here we go. So the tractor beam coming on over here. One more rocket going to come in. Going to take out one of these tanks? No, but it does an incredible amount of damage. Storm Boy goes down. I think this is a great opportunity for the Orcs to capitalize on this. They have lost a ton in the recent engagement. But maybe they just can't quite get close enough. Kill them close destroys that Attack Marine squad. So what do the Space Marines really have left? A couple of tanks, and another tank squad coming onto the field. So, if I were them, I'd be pouring fire as much as possible, as quickly as possible into these shield generators, but Alwayz Lame wants to make sure his opponent's economy is not very solid. What I do want to check out as well, though, is what do we have for Solaria? Okay, a very, very long time. Only 2 command points, elite points, currently available. Mega Knobs going to completely and totally wreck the shield generator with their chain fists, it looks like? Power claws? Either way, it ain't going to be pretty. Attack Marines coming on in terms of drop pod. Not a great decision there either. Alright, and all of this now. Electric Wall, great usage here to make sure that they can't be aggressed on.
We should find these tank busters a tank to rounding up Grotts.
Alright, so what do we got in the meantime? So, the Kellicans went down. We have a Death Dread now on the field. Is he going to go and get himself nice and scrapped up? He's not yet. I think it's kind of a mistake. And these Gretchen, I would say, also should be running over and building stuff off of the scrap that's around the field. Here. The Orcs have a fairly good economy here. I'm going to check that out. So we have 120, 130 power coming on in, and actually less... How about just barely more in terms of requisition? Lots of Gretchen coming in. I think it's probably a good idea to make sure that all this material stays in tip-top shape. I would like to see some aggression being utilized against these towers. And it's not happening yet, which makes me a little bit annoyed right now. As you can see, there's a big group of servitors ready to try to repair all of these tanks. And I'm surprised it's not happening already. Where's this other tank? What are all these guys doing? Okay, so it's slowly repairing. Okay, that's good. Let's get back down to this poor listening post down here. He's going to get killed in just a second, but that's alright. As the Orc army starts trucking on forward, the Horde just will not be stopped easily, I don't think. And indeed, we're going to see this Destructor trying to fall back. Those heavy bolter sponsons and that Destructor cannon might take some real hurt in here. Attack Marine's going to be hanging out and staying way too long. Poor guys. And the Space Marines have one chance at this point, and that's to get as many tanks as possible. Even then, I don't know how much that might even do, considering that there are no shooter boys. Well, excuse me, there's one shooter boy squad. There are 1, 2, 3, 4 tank busters of various elite or non-elite statuses. It ain't gonna be pretty. Now, this truck is probably going to go down, but this tower will go quicker still. Stalling out some of the damage that's going to come down, and indeed, I don't think it's going to be able to hold on. Yep, there goes the tower. And a good decision there, backing away, trying to make sure they don't take that any kind of standard orbital strikes. The thing is such BS. Now this tank right here, all of those tank buster squads, as well as the super tracks, just doing incredible amounts of damage. Kill Team Iron Maw as well, mixing it up, and it's not going to be the best place for him. Vortex Grenade does go out, allows them to back away, and indeed might be enough to see these knobs go down. Yep, there they go, so that's a shame. But in terms of really unfortunate material, well, so far the Orcs are doing really quite well. They could turn around and just pick off one of these trucks if they were... No, that's fine. Super truck goes down with the big cannon, and the Orcs might want to back away and not push this at the moment. There's a lot of tanks here now. Now, if I were them, I'd be just making tank busters for days. For days, because this guy right here, they're pretty scary. Truck goes down, and now the commandos and the storm boys are trying to get after him. Well, it's not going to go particularly well. Indeed, you see, there goes the shooter boys. They're down. And all that's really left to stop them are super tracks and tank busters. And with Chaplain Diomedes as well as Kill Team Iron Maw in the area to really, I'm not going to say sock it to them, but it could be possible. Not going to be particularly pretty. There are a lot of people complaining about how the Space Marines, all you have to do is just literally get to tanks and then you'll be fine. That's probably true. It's pretty true. I will admit that. I also get the feeling, though, sometimes that if you can take out the Space Marines before that happens, you are much better there. Explosions? Nope. Okay, so we're just going to see ourselves kind of at the proximity mines coming on out. Stormboys are going to die in just a second here. Maybe there's a couple of these tanks that will too. There goes one. Commando trying to get tight with Chaplain Diomedes. Not going to be the best idea. But he is coming in then maybe after this tank as well. So charging in behind, really looking to maybe continue to have line of sight? I don't know. No, he's putting down a stun trap instead. Tank busters, there's a lot of rockets coming on in, friends. There goes Kill Team Iron Maw, and this tank is almost sure to follow behind soon enough. Wow, that's such incredible distance. Alrighty. Chaplain Diomedes still in the fray, and this is not a great place for him to be. Meganauts are going to go and try to trade with him. Should be able to do so. He's not going to get out of this from live. He's definitely being a pain, and this whole Chaplain Rosarius thing might keep him up for a little bit longer. Where is it? Okay. Global cooldown between uses. Alright, so there it is right now, proccing right as we speak.
Commandos are gone!
But the Commandos got him. One more shot and bam, he goes down. What's left for the Space Marines again? Okay, so more tanks, another Death Storm. And we have, what, 4 of these tanks now? Alright. 2 Death Storms in the area. Not sure if I really like that particular decision. Death Storms really don't do that much. You might as well just invest all that material into more tanks. Now we are seeing as well that these Killicans are going to get themselves a lot more rockets, I think. Just building up some more charges. And heal themselves up with that scrap from the towers. So good opportunity there. Think about this now. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now big tracks all are upgraded there. Yeah, this is a pretty scary orc army. 167 army supply to about half of that. Even with the Predator with the Annihilator cannon, I still have to get the advantage, I would say, over here to the orcs. It's tight, I'm sure, and we can be very, very tight here. But still pretty good. Now there are people that are going to disagree with me, and I'm totally okay with that. Again, just be respectful about it, friends. Don't call me an idiot or something like that. But we are going to see ourselves another rave going on down. The orcs might be getting themselves ready to start jumping everything. Tons of Gretchen. 8 Gretchen? 1, 2, 6, 8. Yep, we have 8 Gretchen going to be on the field. Interesting decision there. And now I thought, wow, I'm hoping that the Arsenal has finally made it. Yep, so the Arsenal has still actually not gone for the Langlois. Makes no sense to me. Alright, infantry damage 2 is coming on up, that's good. Infantry health 2 has yet to be touched, which is kind of surprising to me. And wow, this Death Dredge is bolting onto the front. He's trying to find something. Coming in behind these tanks, he's going to be a nice little flank here. Yikes. Super Track's going to do crazy amounts of damage. Here comes the Death Storm, or the Standard? Nope, Standard it is. Standard going to do some good damage here. The Death Storm's trying to go and delay everything. This Death Dredge is going to go down, but it's still not going to be particularly great. Boys are coming after these tanks, and while they might get torn to pieces, there's still enough, there should be enough tank busters to come in after them. Orcs are trying to slow this guy down. This particular squad's probably going to buy it. Yep, there he goes. But super tracks are still in kill and close mode, which means that they can put some good direct fire, and the tank busters are still firing rockets galore. And I really mean rockets galore. It's kind of insane. Another Death Dread's going to buy it in a second here. Servitors are dying in the meantime, though, so all the repair for the Space Marine forces is dying rather swiftly. Down to the south, we are going to see a Servitor inside this whole heavy cover. Not the greatest option, of course, but if you really don't have to go and, you know, engage into it, who really cares, right? Killicans wasting all the rockets, well, that's a shame. Because it seems to take such a long period of time for those things to come back in. He's going to blow it on up, and with it, the servitor soon afterwards. New watchtower gets made out of scrap. Good decision there, I would say. And the Space Marines have nothing left. Alwayz Lame should be pushing like crazy. Take out a turret. Take out everything else. You gotta get him down before you see that Imperial Knight. I'm not saying the Imperial Knight's going to be able to win the game completely for the Space Marines, but the Space Marines right now don't have much. A couple of tanks and damaged ones at that. Kill Team Ironmaw, I mean, you know, fancy and all, but not that fantastic either. Alright then. Alright. And rocket jump. Oh my gosh, I forgot about that. So the commandos deployed, which means tank busters and kilocans can go and... I love that. I love that. Just do a nice little rocket jump over to displace to another position of the field, retreat if necessary, all that kind of good stuff there. Now we are going to see an opportunity for this kilocan right here to kind of upgrade himself. He's not doing it just yet, though. Indeed, I think that what we have instead is that Alwayz Lame is just busy microing his forces over here to the north center part of the map. And with a couple tanks moving on in, it might be better for them to back away soon. They're going to try to take it and then bolt. And there they go. They are off. I kind of get the feeling sometimes that Storm Boys are a little bit fragile. Only 2,100 hit points. Now, only for a couple of elite points, I guess I understand, but I'd like to think that they would be a little bit more beefy in combat, considering that they are orcs. Heck, even the commander by himself has 2,500. There we go. Now turn around, boys. Here we go. A nice big orc charge is coming on in. The Wa is real, my friends, and I would not want to be anyone in the way. Squig Bomb comes on out. Not going to do a whole lot, though. Kilocan throwing down rockets like crazy. Almost enough to take out Kill Team Ironmaw by himself. But no, he's going to fall back instead. Mega Knobs. Oh my gosh, that's terrifying. Sped up by the wall. That is super terrifying. And Chaplain Diomedes gets almost wiped in a second or two of real tough actions. Another war truck being made. An interesting decision there. Maybe just to be able to reinforce in the field. I'm not entirely sure. We'll see. And more rockets from the tank busters in the meantime. Also put more fire into this Predator Annihilator. So where are the rest of those kilocans? Back in base. Okay, there are a couple here, a couple there, drips and drabs. They don't have a lot in the way of rocket charges, though, which means that they are largely useless, I would say. But yeah, we will see how that will go. Tons more Gretchen coming in again, so we go from 6 up to 9. We saw a couple die in the last moments there. They kind of stealthed in and did some good damage, and then get pwned. Gretchen are going to see the servitor deployed to the north. The Stormboys come right back in, and this is what you need to be doing. Consistently hitting your opponent's economy, and kind of putting him further and further behind as your own economy just continues to be, well, left alone, really. However, we now have 10 elite points coming in, which means that Imperial Knights Solaria could drop and could not so much win it for the Space Marines, but definitely make it much more difficult for the orcs to do so. Kind of excited for it, actually. Pretty darn cool. Just a couple of tanks left, but it's Imperial Knight? Not quite yet. Alright, here we go. Here goes the Knight, which means it's going to be terrifying for the orcs. How many hit points does that thing have again? 9,000. So one of these super tracks is going to go down, and everything else is not going to be able to hold up to that kind of firepower for very long. Boy's Hut going to go down as well, and why is Gretchen hanging out behind, kind of chilling? I do not know if the Space Marines can be stopped with the help of that particular champion. Now, she is super, super slow, and with a lot of other firepower in the area, these tank busters, for example, these kilocans, all of that material, as well as perhaps a rock. It's just a question of whether or not these tanks here can do enough damage while everyone else is dying. 3 very, very wounded tanks charging on forward. The Imperial Knight is there. There goes 1 tank? No, not quite. Killican's going down in droves. These tank busters dying as well. And I think, yep, the Space Marines have been able to pick up victory. Mostly because Alwayz Lame did not push when he should have been pushing. He could have pushed his engagements a lot more, 10, even 11 minutes ago. And instead what we have is we have a dead tower coming on in. This is gonna slow down the engagement for a little bit of time, but not anywhere near enough. How we're stunning these guys up, maybe that'll be enough to get a couple of these tanks down. 1 tank goes down. Kill Team Iron Wall takes a little bit of damage here too, but all in all, not the most terrifying of things anymore. Solari is still here, so yep, he's got to know it's over. So now with Dreadnoughts being dropped into, adding a little bit of insult to injury here, and this power core is done. So well done to Spectre, kind of sticking it out. Really should have been a heck of a lot closer than it ended up being here. Excuse me, shouldn't have been that much closer. Good gosh, not sure what I was saying there. Alwayz Lame definitely giving it away as he did not engage as aggressively as he could have. But with a nice little cinematic shot here, this tank blowing up because of that turret. Well done to Spectre. Bad loss to Alwayz Lame. And folks, I will see you all next time. This is Alwayz signing off. Take it easy, everybody.